Sunday morning, it's quiet. Everybody's still sleeping on the homestead, except for me and the dogs. It feels like a cold fall morning today. It's got a nice chill in the air. The clouds are gray and heavy, and there's a slight mist, which I'm incredibly grateful for. I'm currently just making some coffee, getting ready for the day, enjoying that peace and quiet that the morning brings. I'm thinking about all the things that need to get done for the day, what I'd like to accomplish for the day. It's hard when you're a full-time working mom. Everybody needs something. So I feel like the Sundays and the quiet weekend mornings are some time just for me. Favorite coffee, which is kind of a fitting title, Jamaican Me Crazy. But it's such a good coffee. I picked them up from my local Winners store because I find that they're pretty decently priced. With the cost of everything lately, it's hard to get a good cup of coffee for a decent price. Sourdough bagel. The dough sat overnight bulk fermenting. I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. Had a nice rounded dome to it, which told me that it was ready to go. Maybe slightly over, but that's okay. I was really pleased with it. With the fall vibes going on, I thought it would be great to light a candle. Just really help set the mood, really help relax. My tray set up with the parchment paper. I've loosened the dough from the sides of the bowl, poured it over into the counter. I like to try and flatten it out and make it into as much of a rounded disc as I can. That way when I'm dividing up the pieces, I can try and get it as equal as possible, but I heard a really great quote a few years ago, and it's something that I try and remind myself very frequently. It helps me put things in perspective when I want things to work out just so, or I think things that should just be perfect. And the quote is, it doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. And that's really helped into perspective for me when I just want everything to be perfect, but we know that we just can't always be perfect. And it's the moments, it's these quiet, slow moments that are the wonderful days. I did a second count here because I thought that I had miscounted and seen the lines in the dough. It just sort of, I don't know, it sort of messed with me. I hadn't even had my first sip of coffee, so again, just being kind to myself and, taking that time. So I'm dividing the dough up. I usually get about a baker's dozen or 13 while I'm making bagels. So sometimes I make plain ones, and then I also make everything seasoned bagels because that's also a favorite in the house. If you don't have a bench scraper, you can use a knife as well. I just like the control that the bench scraper gives. If you've never made bagel dough before, it is a little bit on the stiffer side than working with your regular sourdough. So here I roll them up into a ball, and then I use my hands to shape the dough. You can see it's a little bit sticky. If it's too sticky, you can always either add a little bit more flour, or you can just simply wet your hands. But you don't want to use too much, as the stickiness really helps to shape the dough. To share my funny mug. Sometimes I choose my mugs based off of how I'm feeling. Do you ever do that? Does your tea mug or your coffee mug ever give you sort of what you feel is the mood for the day? just gotta say cluck it and walk away. It's a good reminder that sometimes you just need to let things go. That we only have a certain amount of control, and that's okay. Here I'm just starting to shape the bagels by poking a small hole through it with my finger and separating it or pulling it by doing some round motions like that with my hands. I generally do about 6 to 7 bagels per sheet, just to give enough room. These won't expand much more. The next resting process is just to allow the dough to rest after sort of manipulating it and working it again. But you won't see a secondary rise. They'll just get slightly puffy. Just covering up the bagels with a damp tea towel so I can have some time to rest. Got a little helper in the background. Those are Golden Max. There he is again, sweet boy. He always has to be everywhere we are. He likes to be included. So I'm just going to fill up the pot about quarter of the way full. You don't need a lot of water, just enough that can boil and fruit the bagels. sleepy morning brain fog to pre-cut them. So I'm just cutting the parchment paper into individual squares for the bagels. It makes it a lot easier when putting the bagels into the boiling water, so that the bagels don't lose their shape. I think one of the things that I really like about making bagels is it's just very sort of mundane. It's easy. You can just sort of get lost in the routine of it, the mundaneness of it. You don't need to overthink. I don't know about you, but having a job that requires a lot of brain power, it can be exhausting. And when you work in a job that requires you to make a lot of decisions and critical thinking, it can really weigh on your mind, and mental exhaustion is often worse than physical exhaustion, in my opinion. It can be really tough, but doing simple tasks like these, feeding my family good homemade food, there's something so relaxing and peaceful and joyful. I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. bagels and everything bagels. I think they turned out really great. I'm looking forward to trying these bulk fermented sourdough bagels. If you've stuck along through this entire episode, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and your support. Please consider subscribing. It really helps on my journey. If there's anything you'd like to see me make or to try, love to get your comments below. Thank you again for tuning in to Down to the Roots Homestead. My name is Lindsay. Thank you for showing up and joining me on this relaxing Sunday morning.